Hi Taurus, welcome to your end of June 2020 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here, and I've been doing post-lunar eclipse in Sagittarius updates. So for Taurus individuals, this is falling, Sagittarius falls in the 8th house. For some it's falling in the 7th house, this eclipse. And it depends on if you're a later degree, it's going to fall in your 7th house and be more connected with relationships, but also with clients if you have them. And that could actually be a good thing. I mean, you might have had an influx of clients all of a sudden. In the 8th house, this is a very deep place to have a lunar eclipse, and it can bring about ending obsessions, ending anything that you feel that you can't quit on your own. It might be just a psychological death, but I mean in a good way, because this is a house of death where you're able to be reborn in terms of some of those emotions being purged that are very uncomfortable, like envy, like vengefulness, and things like that. If you see any flying insects, I have a fruit fly infestation, and I had a bunch of peaches that didn't help things. Even in my living room, I was storing, and I have bananas and all kinds of things. So that's what you're dealing with. But in any case, so let's kind of do the cards and see what's going on. Interesting. I have Taurus rising, so I look at, sometimes people say, should I watch this for the rising sign? When I talk about astrology, I am talking also about the rising sign. I don't know, I feel like these are for the sun signs, but maybe if I was shrewder, I'd say, oh yeah, watch your moon sign, so I could get more views. But I mean, to be honest, my intention is for, oh my God, I started to do like a full Celtic cross reading. What can I do about that? Oh well, you're gonna just get there's lives like how I do in my private readings. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, you're going to get like a little bonus. I kind of cut it short, but I was just going off into this automatic thing because I was talking too much. Okay, so the heart of the matter is the Two of Wands, and this can be any kind of crossroads. As somebody wrote to me and said, there's another person's hand, so there's somebody else who's connected to this situation that you're making that decision based on, perhaps. And this can also be about, when you're talking about wands, it can actually be related to like career direction that you want to go into. And perhaps you're in a phase where this is particularly a thing, middle age tends to bring that out, where somebody has invested X amount of years in something and they don't like it anymore, or they don't see any further growth. Wands are about growth, expansion, and so there is a desire here to expand. It can be relocation too, like should I stay here or should I go somewhere else? Again, sometimes there is that feeling of growth when you move somewhere else because you're having new experiences, and it feels very, very much like you're, excuse me, doing something different. You're stretching yourself in some way. So that might be what's going on for you. And what crosses you is the moon card, so there may be indecisiveness, or maybe things that you don't know about. I mean, if this is a relationship, issue about like leaving a relationship, or if you have two parties that you're deciding between, perhaps an unsatisfactory marriage and somebody that you've met that's new, you may want to go in a new direction, but you're not sure you trust that other person, that they're as good as they claim that they are. Everything is so hunky-dory, you know, if you will. Actually, to be honest with you, if somebody presents themselves as perfect, I would definitely look at that as a red flag, because that's not, you know, that's not real. Everybody has faults, and yes, at the beginning of a relationship, we're putting our best foot forward. That's why it's good to get to know somebody a long time before you get serious with them, because over time, that's when people let down their guard and they show you who they really are. If you just elope with somebody, or, you know, move in with somebody after 3 months, you may find out that they weren't who they said they were. And the moon card can be about deception. It can be about addiction. So again, maybe this is with that other person. The moon card actually connects with Pisces. I would add Cancer, because it rules the moon. I don't know why it's not associated with the moon, but I think the qualities of what the moon card represents are more aligned with Pisces, with the Neptune, the negative qualities of addiction, deception, escapism, and confusion. And also, but you know, the thing too is that the moon is about creativity. And so turning your back on creativity. Taurus, you are a creative person. You're ruled by Venus. You are creative. But you are also an earth sign. So you may be very concerned about finances. The second house is ruled by Taurus, and that's earned income and possessions. And you know what? That's how you're wired, and it is what it is. You know, it's not something that you have to kind of override in your nature, but see how you can incorporate creativity into your ability to make money, instead of thinking that you have to choose one versus the other, or having, excuse me, still having it in your life regardless. You know, in other words, that's what I think sometimes with a sign like Taurus, where it gets twisted, is believing that something is not worthwhile unless you can make money at it. That's the materialistic attitude. I'm not saying all Taurians are like that, but I'm saying that people who don't believe anything is worthwhile unless they can get paid for it, they tend to be workaholics, and they just do everything they can that has a monetary value attached to it. And also, the interesting thing about it is that I believe sometimes those are the same people who can't do things that are free because it doesn't seem like it has much value. So going to the park and having a lunch would be like, oh, let's go to this place and we can spend all this money and da 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 da. And they can't just have simple pleasures because they always attach a dollar sign to it. So that's what I see as materialism, not people who are just oriented in that way. Being able to realize that, oh gosh. The landscapers are here.